Go live now. Okay, now it's saying preparing the live stream. I gave up on Facebook. It kept asking me for codes and then telling me that I couldn't get in.
YouTube is fine. Is actually so we'll just have the sound turned off.
Where do we do the sound? Okay, sound is off.
Cool.
So, okay, so we're on anyway. At least we're live streamed.
And we'll just point it to the camera.
Where's the camera?
Or I guess to the where it says the Senate chambers right here. That's the town.
Yeah. Brother, I'm with you then. We don't need
Yeah.
a welcome pass.
It's a little behind, so
That's okay. What's up?
Did you
there it goes.
did a good job of representing ourselves last Monday?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you wanted to wait.
That fucking scum in
But wait, it's going to take a minute before it moves.
Wait a minute.
It's about 3 or 4 second delay, it seems.
What was published?
What do you mean?
What did you accomplish, man?
For the counter protest and fucking nuts?
Okay, a little back. See if that works.
Let me check over here.
Anarchists and Democrats.
Yeah.
Do you think there's nothing between fascists and Republicans?
I mean, the Republican Party has become a fascist party.
Yeah.
No, I think I would encourage you to check the definition of fascism.
Do you think they're not fascists? What do
I
you think
think
they
there was a conservative.
Okay, well, you do whatever you need to do here.
Yeah.
I'll get my guitar out.
Now, is there any such thing as a conservative in your mind, or is that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There are people-
Do you think any of these?
The party, Republican Party is like they're going for full seizure of power. Like,
Yeah.
What I was challenged by last week was that
Do you mind if we have this?
oh yeah, yeah.
people going, fuck your dead homie, fuck your dead.
Joe was asking if his hearing.
Is there anything else besides,
No fashion.
You know, we're trying to get the mic working right now. But I'm saying if you need take one of the seats right here, because people will be speaking right here.
like people are near the speakers? Are those
Oh,
these round things coming down?
well, I do think those are the speakers.
Good.
But depending on the mic, the speakers will or won't.
Well, I can hear you. That's good.
Yeah, I'll have people like.
Okay.
He wasn't just being like, hey,
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so how does this end up getting recorded?
record.
Yeah, I thought we could record it.
If it's live, then I think it's already being recorded on
Okay,
YouTube.
good, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not coming in.
Okay, sounds good.
Revolution books and stuff.
Here we are. Fucking.
I wasn't yelling. There was a lot of decent people out there.
It's my lifetime.
And I had to get the live stream set up before I could play. Now everything's set. Yeah.
Which support
Yes.
just modern day stuff.
No, I. You think it's?
I'll just sit up here, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, we're not trying to convince the fascists to come on.
You get.
Okay.
No.
I'll just play a few songs. How late? When do we actually start?
Sooner the better, but we should start maybe at like 5:10.
So I'll do one song then, because it took so long to get the stuff up, and if we need the other song later,
Free to do like 3.
what?
Feel free to do 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, this is a song I wrote. The scary thing about this song is not the vampires, as you'll see in the third verse. But it has a sing-along chorus, and it goes like this. Don't let the vampires in. Don't let the vampires. If you refuse them, they never can win. Don't let the vampires in. I loved horror movies when I was a kid. I knew all the monsters and things that they did. I knew how to counteract vampire waves. Some garlic, a crust, or a thrust with a stake. Of utmost importance in thwarting their bite was to shun their advances with all of your might. For to gain access, they couldn't dig your outright refusal to open the door. Let the vampires in. Don't let the vampires in. If you refuse them, they never can win. Let the vampires in. Those vampires were cunning and sneaky and sly. They'd wheedle their way in, they'd give it a try. They'd be so charming, they'd flourish their cape, just waiting to see if you'd make a mistake. Don't let the vampires in. Don't let the vampires in. If you refuse them, they never can. Let the vampires in. And now we are witness to horrid ice raids. Their stealthy abductions of immigrant maids, workers in fields, but children in school. They cover their faces, they're mean, they're cruel. But just like the vampire, they can be no good if you don't let him in. Do not answer your door. Let the vampires in. Don't let the vampires in. If you refuse them, they never can win. Let the vampires in. If you refuse them, can win. Don't let the vampires in. There's a song called Mother Nature. These are up on YouTube if you want to see the videos. Temperatures are rising all across the land. A tornado hit near Buffalo. There's flooding where we hadn't seen it before. It's snow where there never was snow. Volcanoes are erupting. The polar ice is melting. Oh, what could be the cause of this? Folks may have their theories, but the answer is clear. Mother Nature's pissed. She's been sitting back observing all the harm we have done while trying to stay out of it. Her patience has been monumental, but we can't take any more of it. She's been trying to keep a neutral stand while we mangle everything we touch. She's going from benevolent to being malevolent, cause the damage is too much. She looks down on her wayward children, hoping we will mend our way. But now we've gotten on her last nerve. Let's hope it's not the end of days. Her trembling is causing earthquakes. Her anger sets the earth aflame. We must make some restitution, or there will be more climate change. We have to decide what steps to take to get off of her naughty list. Keep the oil in the ground with the dinosaurs, with wind and solar. It won't be missed. Let's keep Mother Nature happy. She's tired of being dissed. We have to figure out how to turn this apart. So Mother Nature won't be pissed, oh yeah. So Mother Nature won't be pissed. One more tune. So right after the election, I took the old Gloria Gaynor "I Will Survive" song and revamped some of the lyrics. At first, I was afraid, I was petrified, thinking of expatriation or even suicide. But after spending numbing nights thinking of all you could do wrong, I grew strong. So I thought I'd write a song. I wish you'd go to outer space. You could fly with Elon Musk, meet him at the SpaceX base. Wish we had changed deluded minds, so this would never be. But now you're in the White House and you're back to bother me. I thought we'd show you out the door. I thought that we were rid of you and wouldn't see you anymore. You hurt with all the lies you tell and awful things you do. I used to like the color orange. Now it makes me think you will jive. I will survive. Despite the harm you will be doing, I know I'll stay alive. They say that when it's darkest, that's when you see the stars. I wish you had a front row seat for that. I rocketed to Mars, but I'll survive. And we will survive. It's taking all my strength not to fall apart. I try with all my might to mend my broken heart. And if you die in office, we still don't have a chance. Then we'll have bans. What a lousy circumstance, but we will not abandon hope. By protesting awful policies, we know that we can cope. I remember how exhausted we were last time you held office. It's a crime. And we must go back to that time, but you are back. You misanthrope. We can't just sit and let democracy go up in smoke. Guess we'll all roll up our sleeves. Guess we'll be out in the streets and we'll survive. We will survive. I'm certain we will survive. We will figure out ways to counteract your lies. We won't let you steal our joy or rob us of our pride. So I keep hope alive. Survive. Thank you.
Thank you, Hallie.
You want to
Just bring
turn
up
this so
real quick.
it's facing you. Takes a minute for the screen to hold it.
Hi, everyone that's here to attend. Thank you for being here to attend. I know this was a short minute or last minute event, but it's all about the love we have for People's Park. So I want to introduce the space and the speakers, but first give a little bit about the why we're here. Why is this event happening? What happens next for People's Park? And before we begin, I really want to speak to something that's stronger than policy. Again, my name's Aiden Hill. So people ask me why I stay involved in the struggle to protect People's Park. When so many people have moved on or passed away, why am I still here? And the simple truth, the simple answer is I'm married to this land. To say someone's married to the land, it's not about poetry. It describes a devotion and identity so complete that the relationship between the person and place becomes a partnership. It's not ownership, it's not activism, but rather it's mutual belonging, a form of interdependency. If you say you're married to People's Park, that sounds like a really big thing. But really, it only requires four things within us. The first being stewardship. You don't see the park as an empty lot or development site. You see it as something to protect, someone to tend and defend, and show up when others turn away. Second, it requires integration. Your sense of self, your purpose, your history, they're woven directly into the soil. To lose the park would to feel like losing a part of yourself. So many people have felt to this day. Third is commitment. You don't leave when the fences go up or barricades are there, when the razor wire gets too sharp. You don't vanish when the police arrive or even when Homeland Security is watching you. You stay through every season of loss and you're still dedicated to rebuilding what comes next. And fourth, reciprocity. The land gives back. It restores us, teaches us, grounds us, like the tomatoes that are growing in the park right now, they nourish us. The relationship is not contractual. It's not historic. It's not hierarchical. It's spiritual. It's lived. And that's where love comes in. Love, being patient, being kind, does not envy, does not boast. It's not proud. It's not self-seeking, nor is it easily angered. It's not possessive, and it keeps no records of the wrongs that happen within it. But instead, it remembers every footprint carries a story. Every person who was harmed in the park are part of what makes it sacred. I refuse to become the thing or the institution I resist. My anger, instead of turning into frustration, becomes discipline. Pain becomes the compost that we leave together. Love does not delight in evil, but always rejoices in the truth. And the truth is, while the park is fenced off, while there's a building that remains there, it is still the people's park. It still belongs to the people. And us here in Berkeley are here to defend it. So again, thank you for giving us the space. And I want to say a special thank you to the student government who believes in the People's Park for giving us the opportunity to speak amongst ourselves, because guess what? Places where we would come together normally and have these singings and debate, we're no longer able to access it. And Telegraph Avenue in and of itself is restrictive. So being able to have a forum, regardless of who's here, we're here. And so I want to give that opportunity to the space right now. Continuing, I want to bring up a special guest, a firecracker of a speaker, an orator at heart, someone who has dedicated their entire life to making sure that people are protected through Berkeley Cop Watch, and has been a part of People's Park's defense since the fences went up with the volleyball court. So I'll just give the stage to Andrea Pritchett so she can give you a little bit more about her experience being in People's Park. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Eden, for organizing this opportunity to speak. And it's great to see, folks here who have spent so much time at People's Park. And it's also great to see new faces, because that's what's going to be required in the struggle in the future. I had some comments prepared, but I think I'm motivated to say some other things. For me, People's Park, I'm standing here in the new Eshelman Hall. Because once upon a time, there was an old Eshelman Hall where the Campaign Against Apartheid, a student organization, one among many, fought the university on the divestment of companies doing business in South Africa. And once upon a time, the students had 24-hour access to this space. Once upon a time in the city of Berkeley, there were communes, there were cooperatives, there was open space, there were parks. This very campus had beautiful glades and almost like a forest here where you could go and contemplate, read. There was something a little closer to freedom. I won't say it was freedom. It was a little close. But even at the time of the founding of People's Park, people of that time, they knew that they were not free, and they challenged the political order, the political structure. The Vietnam War highlighted more than anything the barbarity and the cruelty of capitalism and of this system. And so the people and the free speech movement moved in 1964 from being about just an opportunity to speak freely, and it turned into an anti-war movement, and it turned into all these other things. We live in, as the brother says, a time of fascism, and that is true, and I agree. And the question is how we fight the fascism. People's Park is not the destination, in my mind. People's Park is a way to get there. To hold in the mind of the people the fact that the land itself is power and life. The land must be liberated. Anything short of that is reform and operates within this exploitive system, which, as the brother says, is becoming fascist. I don't agree that we are fully fascist. I believe that we still have room to fight. People's Park, to me, represents two things that are often not characterized together. To me, it represents the liberation of the land. To me, it represents challenging the empire of UC, where once it was believed that this was a public institution. But now it has been colonized, it has been commandeered to be in the service of corporate America. There's lots of great interventions happening here, all to the benefit of corporations and only incidentally in service of education. People's Park represents liberation of the land. It was a fight about the actual physical space. And with that, the right to exist, the right to have a history, the right to be. But it had something else. Peace and love. People's Park was about creative energy. It's about saying, yes, we want to share. Bring us your poor, you're tired, you're hungry. Bring us folks without a tent. Bring us the hungry people. Bring us folks that can't go anywhere else. Somehow, we will make this is their space too. As we move forward, I do believe that that there will be another struggle about People's Park. But for me, I want to be part of a movement that challenges this whole assumption. I want to be part of a movement that loves. I want to be part of a movement that's able to tell a Republican from a fascist, that can tell an anarchist from a Democrat, that looks each person as an individual and says, what do you believe? Not what do I think you believe because of what you look like, but asks you, what do you believe? And we can struggle together, human to human. Because, my friends, I do believe that there are people who walk around with genocide on their mind. And they believe that the world would be better if only we got rid of those people. If we could snip them off like a wart, like an unwanted thing. There are people who walk around with genocide on their mind, and I fear sometimes that because the atmosphere we live in, the waters we swim in, are full of genocide. Genocide, walking over poor people to get to work and not even noticing. Genocide. Yes, the kidnappers who are stealing people based on racial profiling. They've got genocide on their mind. But to me, People's Park is the opposite of that. That I could stumble into People's Park, I could be a Trump-waving MAGA somebody. And somebody would say, hey, you want to sit down and smoke a joint? Let's talk about it. Because I believe in human beings. We're here in a place of education. If you stop believing in education, then get out of here. If you stop believing that we can have our minds changed, then why would you be here? We who claim to do education, but we don't want to hear an opposing point of view. That's not education. That's indoctrination. So as we go forward, we have to win the middle. We have to conscientize, radicalize, and love people, even though they disagree with us. And in this way, I believe that we stand a chance of winning not only People's Park, not only a common, but the bigger war. Thank you.
See, I told you, firecracker, right? So thank you so much, Andrea, for taking the time to,
Thank
you know, get ground us in what this park really means to people. Next, I want to bring up an artist extraordinaire, someone who has spent over a decade in People's Park taking care of community members. This person was one of the first people to move into the roadway inn as UC Berkeley's, well, let's just say, kicked everyone out of the park in favor of their development plans. But Eric hasn't stopped fighting for people at People's Park, nor the people at Roadway Inn. Eric has taken a really strong stance to make sure that the people there are fed, that they're feeling community in the face of displacement. And I mean, you can speak for yourself, but go ahead.
Andrea. uh, I got these people. What I don't know how to start this thing, but I got this. I got Andrea. I got Holly. I got Joe. I got my older people. I got the old people. I met Michael Delacour. Michael Deere was there. My gosh, Michael Deere, bro. Uh, thing is that somebody says People's Park is gone. Somebody mentioned it. And I heard that. But my answer is I still here. I am People's Park. And that's what these people gave to me. I was not here in 1969. I was born in 1967, so I was so little. But the love, the energy, the atmosphere, the creation of this magic sense of humanity. I don't know if human is good, but whatever. The thing is, we're together and we can do things together. Uh, when I show up, I saw a lot of people taking care of other people, and that's magic. I saw food bombs. I saw their people gardening. I saw their people bringing some water, something. People feeding people, as Andrea says, smoking a joint. Why not? Uh, and everything. Okay, drugs and all those things, substances, whatever, please. The dark clouds are part of the views too. Okay, so it's part of the show. But the main thing is, as Andrea says, bring the people. Bring those you don't want it. Bring them here. We're gonna take care of them. And they did it. They did it with me. They gave me the chance to talk. They gave me the chance to paint, to express my feelings, my grateful of the park, of these people to be in there, and keep this park alive while I was not there, and keep this energy, and so and so. That's what I got from People's Park. Then they invite me to practice, whatever we do. Uh, We spent 8 months cooking at People's Park. We set up a protest camp right there at People's Park. And let me tell you, I cooked for my community for 8 months. Straight up every Thursday, you're gonna have a Latino meal in breakfast and lunch for 8 months. And let me tell you guys, it's something so beautiful to see these people. People will not tell you thank you or showing you that they are. No, no, no. But you're doing with what you're doing this, and they show with their eyes what they cannot express with their mouth. Man, that's amazing because that's connection. That's connection. So that was beautiful. Uh, I'm proud to be part of this. I don't want to take much of your time, but I'm proud to be here. I'm proud. Actually, today, I'm not celebrating nothing today, but today I posted in my Facebook, I got 23 years clean of crack, cocaine, and other drugs, and da 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 da. I got, no, but I did that. I got 12 or 13 years that I don't use no opioids, no painkillers and all that. I know all that party too. And then I got 3 years no alcohol. And let me tell you, those who know me from the park, they know I drink. I drink. No. You gonna come to drink with me? You gotta have money, because we're gonna drink. Not just a couple of, no. We're gonna drink. And man, I did it. And I have 2 years, no tobacco. Man, and all these things happened in a place that bring me, People's Park gave me that place. Because we were camping at People's Park. We have our tents and everything. We were attending our people on the fires. Our people is our people, and they cause fires, the tents or whatever, firings, overdoses. We were there taking care of our people, man. And then the park gave us back something. The park took care of us, and it got us housing. When I got housing, that was a mess. Not even in jail, we received something like that for breakfast. And we protest. We say, no, you're not dealing with it. No. We are a community. We are People's Park. We know how to take care of each other. We don't need those things. Whatever you, no. We are humans. And we deserve, maybe we have bad time, good, but we're humans. And we deserve good food. Same food you give to your kids. Same thing. With the same love. Like that. We start protesting, things start getting better. At the point that now it's not Broadway Inn no more. Now it's University Homes. Because we pay rent. All these things, that was I was thinking this morning. That we've been doing it until right now, and we have walked a lot. Plus, because I'm People's Park. We are People's Park. You are People's Park. Even if you don't, that's why you're here. You are People's Park. You got that energy. You got that heart. You see your next person, that one next to you, and you see something, you feel something. That's People's Park feeling. See? Taking care of others. Why we're here? Taking notes of this or that. Because we are worried about somebody else. That's People's Park feeling. And you guys, you are the one who don't have. You don't have to. You can't do that. You can't do that. Because these guys, they keep that thing on their time. We keep it. And now we are bringing it to you guys. Because the power of People's Park always been the students. Since the beginning. Even Food No Bombs was there for the students at the beginning. Who say yes or not? It is true. It is true. And a lot of people who used to go to the churches around People's Park, they are part of our community now. And let me tell you something. This is, I'm going to finish, right? Thing is that I came to People's Park with something in my mind, in my heart, to bring something to my people, you know, because I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. So I need this. I need to tell my friend, those who are in the struggle right now, man, you can do it. You can do it, bro. I did it. I did it. I'm here, man. 24/7. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. And let me tell, she's not here, but she got like year and a half not using crystal meth. And this girl, she says, Eric, man, because I'm on top of these people. Because that's my job, taking care of other people. Even if we are not people, we are People's Park. And it don't matter who is doing good things, bad things, man, that's their business. My business is taking care of my people. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Just to let you go, guys, or let me finish. I have less. I have housing, and my beautiful dog. Those who knows my dog, they know, you know, guys, that my dog is from People's Park. And man, something good I did. Something good I did. Something good I did.
Thank you.
Thing is that I have seen a lot of people at the park, you know. And let me close this. Uh, uh, People who used to go and do harm or cause harm or violence, or they ended up the same way. But if you go to People's Park with a nice heart, with a nice vibe, with love, with or asking for help from your heart, man, People's Park's gonna give you the same thing. And that's why I say, man, I don't know what I did good right there, man. But I got a dog, a beautiful dog, man. It's a mess. It's a headache. But it's my daughter, man. It's that beautiful thing, man. I don't know what else I can say or you want me to say about People's Park, man. But yes, now is your time. Sorry, now is your time. You gotta keep this thing moving forward because we're still here and we are not quitting. If we don't quit, how come you do? You're younger than us. Thank you guys. Later.
Wow, I'm so impressed. Thank you so much, Eric. And I honestly got a little teary-eyed when you said that. And I feel like a lot of us did. And you know, the truth is that what happened at People's Park really disrupted our sense of self for so many of us. We like Eric gained so much meaning through the connections that we made. And when one day after 56 years it just stops, that really can take a toll on people. And I want to uphold that right at this moment is that there are people here who wish they could be here. Michael Delacour wishes he could be here. Michael Dill wishes he could be here. So just to hold them in your hearts in this moment and to allow yourself to breathe in and realize that this isn't a game for us. This is our truth and our family and the loves of our life. And to know that you're also a part of that in this moment. You are here with us in the halls of power of this university. And so I want to say thank you. With that said, I want to introduce our next panelist who is just as good as Andrea and Eric on the mic, Cheryl Davila. Cheryl Davila. This thing needs an introduction, but I will say a little bit. Cheryl Douglas served as a Berkeley City Council member at a significant point of the park's history as it was being up to a vote what would happen next with the university and the city. Cheryl was able to see very clearly and I'll let you say this, like what happened between the city and the university that made them got this, the city and the university that gave them this deal to want to build on People's Park. With that said, Cheryl is a great person and has done a lot of work in police abolition. Cheryl has created a climate emergency task force to recognize what's happening in the Bay right now to make sure that people are protected. And Cheryl has done so much to even make sure that this is recognized Ohlone land, I believe. And correct me if you're wrong, you're the one that was responsible for putting up the signs in the city that said this is Ohlone territory, this is Ohlone land. And so as a special like, wow, thank you for being here and taking the time, Cheryl Dow. Like,
Thank you. Yes, here we are on Ohlone territory. Welcome to the city of Berkeley, Ohlone territory. That was my legislation. I'm grateful for that. I think it also helped um, move some of the things along happened since then. At least that's how I could think of it. But yeah, so thank you for having me here today. I'm honored and humbled always to speak. Um, uh, as at UC Berkeley is pretty great to be here with you. Not that the university is great because they got some issues, some serious issues. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to the rally today at Heyman Terrace, but I was there in spirit. And, we're doing all that we can to survive these days. I'm kind of loving the way that uh, what am I saying? So it's hard to survive in a kind of loving way that will lead to healing because of all the things that are going on in the world, but we have to find a way to heal. And healing can not only be for ourselves, but to our extended family, our neighbors, our neighborhoods, and community. And that's what People's Park enabled people to do, was to heal. People's Park provided a great green space with redwood trees. I remember seeing the hawks in the trees and all the different birds. I never thought I would be a bird person, but I love birds now. I thought it was a geeky thing when I was younger, but here I am, one of those geeky people. But it had grass, music, gardens, um, and comfort and chaos. But it was a beautiful environment that we heard music, ate delicious food from Food Not Bombs. It had held the World Music Festival. Um, and thousands of people would come to Berkeley and they would go to People's Park because it was known for free speech. Um, I remember seeing all kinds of bands in the park, the Ollie Khans, rock and folk, hip hop. And when I was on council, I founded Mobilize Berkeley, which is Berkeley, UC Berkeley CERC, Student Environmental Resource Center, and the NEWTs. I can't remember what that stands for right now, but we formed the Mobilize Berkeley, and we had Berkeley Climate Community Healing Gathering at the park before the 50th anniversary started their day at 11, and we got there at 10, and we had like a great event for an hour before that started, which kind of set the tone for the anniversary because we did some qigong, we had speakers. Tiny Gray Garcia spoke. My brother came from Clear Lake. I mean, it was just such a great thing, place, People's Park, and to have it not be there anymore, although I love the little triangle on the corner of Dwight and whatever that street is, that shows us that the park is still there. But that huge, humongous, ugly, freaking building is terrible. And while I was on council, that was like the only other green space besides Willard Park, which Willard Park, I mean, it's a nice park, but People's Park was People's Park. It was different. You really felt sometimes at Willard, you don't always feel welcomed, because it's in what I call the rich hood. But um, at People's Park, you always felt welcomed. You always knew, I would always run into people I knew there, and like my kids like would go to these concerts with us, and they would be running around having a great time. Nobody bothered them. They always had a good time, and everybody always had a good time. People were dancing. You would see it was multi-generational, the audiences and the people that hung out there. It was multi-ethnic, very diverse. Um, and then there's a lot of people that lost their lives there too, which is unfortunate. But I think one of the things that we can do in the future is to have those names on a building somewhere of all the people that like passed away in the park or however they left us. And they should also have a mural, repeat the mural on that ugly building or somewhere inside, maybe even just, I don't know. But I don't know. I'm just somehow I kind of just hope that building could just disappear and the park could come back and the trees would grow again and the garden would blossom and it could become People's Park again. But who knows? I mean, stuff happens. But I'm not saying that anybody should do anything but I'm just saying that's just a thought that I have that one day the park will become a park again. Uh, because actually all these buildings that they're building, they're not going to last 100 years. We'll be lucky if they last 25 or 50. So anyway, but when I was on council, we talked about stuff that happens here at UC, the long range development plan. I raised a lot of questions about that, and especially when it came to talking about the CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act, which requires, an environmental study of what could go on as a consequence of the project. Um, but they still built the building, and but also like when I was on council, besides Mobilize Berkeley, I would just like, I think once or twice I bought lunch. And I was like, well, they always get food from like pizza or, other places, but I wanted to get a good lunch. So Rick and Ann's was available at that time. So I bought sandwiches, salads, different, like 4 different types, and spent a few $100s out of my discretionary budget from the city and brought that lunch to the park. They delivered to the park, and they're like, "What? We're gonna deliver it to People's Park?" I'm like, "Yes." And so, but it was great because everybody enjoyed the lunch. It was different food that they normally get. And when we had our community climate healing gathering, I remember too, we had a little bit of snacks, but what we did bring was coffee. And everybody was so happy that we brought coffee to the park in the morning. So that was like really um, my memory of that day too, was how grateful people were to have fresh coffee in the morning at the park. Um, but UC Berkeley is following the path of I call It's Not Real. We know what that word is, aka ISRAEL. I don't say the word, but they're following that path of, and I won't say his name either. I'll say Hu Net Yam instead of Net whatever, his name too. They're following the settler colonial behavior, bringing the police to protect that the building of a wall. Containers, two containers stacked too high. Literally, it is too high, but two of them on top of each other. And then they painted it gray. I mean, come on now. That doesn't look like what they do in Palestine to the Palestinians. I don't know what does. You know. Then they had the police in all their gear protecting their container wall and the park. But you know, they violated so many things, rules, and got away with it, just like It's Not Real gets away with it, you know? They cut down all the trees. What does It's Not Real do? Cut down olive trees. You know, they do it's interesting now that we have a genocide and everybody's eyes are on it, and we see all the atrocities that It's Not Real has done. You have to think about what UC Berkeley isn't complicit in as far as It's Not Real is, actually. So, I just wanted to say that, but we have to keep hope alive. Um, we have to, like I said, in the future, it would be nice if they had some plaques about the free speech movement, about Food Knots Bombs, about Osha Newman, who was an amazing attorney, artist, human, uh, and like I said, reconstruct that murals or make sure that it doesn't go away, and stays in the forefront of our minds of what People's Park used to be and can be again. Um, so I think that's all I have to say for now, but I wanted to thank you all for being here. And it's time to be authentic. It's time for healing and forgiveness and to be united and be in solidarity and be in community. That's one thing that People's Park was, a community. And they never acknowledged that, but people would take care of each other. And we still have to do that. So reach out to your neighbors and say hello to a stranger. You could adopt an unhoused person, or someone that you could. I feel like UC Berkeley could be doing so much better in how they approach um, houselessness. And like they have psychologists, sociologists, and all these students that could actually go out into the field and get their hours and help people. I don't know why none I said that when I was on council. It still hasn't happened, but it could still happen because we still have COVID, we have a genocide, and we have 47. We all have to heal from that, and we all have to think about that and not allow the doom and gloom take over us. So you have to just continue to love yourselves and try to do the best that you can do in these dark times. And free People's Park, free Palestine, free the Congo, free Sudan, and free us all. And boycott, divestment, sanctions, and get UC to do the right thing, because they could do a hell of a lot better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cheryl Davila. You can definitely tell Cheryl isn't working with the UC. Oh my gosh, so many things. They would just be like, nope, we're going to have to rethink our contract. But the People's Park gave people the opportunity to speak freely. If you were in a position of power, let's say if you had a business, you would feel free to walk through People's Park at any point in time. Um, it was the governor and the city that was afraid to meet with the people, which, I encourage you to introspect. Like, why do you think the people who are in charge of this decision didn't want to meet with us, didn't want to have a public forum? And I'll mention before all of it happened, like in 2018, we did have a public forum where Richard Lazaro, whatever his name is, he's the government liaison for People's Park. He showed up and, he heard us and he never showed up again. He did, however, run from us when we did see the construction and the development happening. So it shows that there's this lack of accountability. There's this lack of accountability that permeates the entire parks legacy when it comes to the overseers or the officials. So I just want to hold that out there. But for our next guest, before I go on a tirade, our next guest is a volunteer with East Bay Food Not Bombs, a first year student here at UC Berkeley, Garrett Ferguson. Garrett shows up because the park taught him what real community looks like. People caring for each other with compassion, with empathy, and a commitment to lifting each other up. You'll, of course, be able to say more of this, but Garrett believes holding on to these social lens values, protecting this community, growing together as we fight for what the park represents and the future of what the park would be. Leave it on.
Um, I didn't prepare anything to say for this moment, but now I know it's not necessarily needed because it's within here, heart, and that's what I've learned from being here, in Berkeley. But to let it be known, I have not been personally affected by People's Park. I mean, I wasn't even born when it was established. But what I do sense here, though, is this community, this fervor to fight and to inspire other people to do the right thing and to help other people and to challenge oppression and to challenge, you know, capitalism and, greed and, evil. And I've seen that up here, but I didn't know that at first. When I was applying to school, I always knew Berkeley, it was a place of like, justice and free speech and, all these amazing speakers came here. I mean, the Black Panther Party and, People's Park, I heard stories from my parents and from my grandparents about, this place is, where people actually get things done, where they are able to pull each other up from, rock bottom and make something truly beautiful and purposeful and lively from it. But I didn't know that yet. And, you know, when I came up here, I immediately knew I belonged here and that I wanted to do as much as I can to help people. I I wasn't doing much. I felt like I was lacking a sense of purpose, a sense of responsibility to myself and to others. But what angered me so much was to see people just walk over a person who's clearly suffering or, not do anything to like change the agenda of what's happening today. And I knew something was had to be done, but I didn't know where to start. And if it wasn't for that fateful day of me losing a chess match to my friend at the Berkeley Chess Club near Amoeba Records, then I would never have been introduced to Food Not Bombs and met Josh, Stan, Aiden, and Rosie and Eric, and you know those guys inspired me to want to keep coming back every weekend to try to help out and do what I can to keep the idea of People's Park alive, to keep the idea of Communitas alive, because I know it's being diminished. I learned that up here, Berkeley has kind of lied to me. UC Berkeley has lied about, what they're truly doing here. It's formed into a thing where like they're trying to, discipline us to, add to their free market economy or what. But that shouldn't be the point anymore. It should be to help people to learn more of yourself, to learn from other people, to be educated in ways you don't even know you can be. I mean, what have we forgotten? What it means to live in a community, what it means to be responsible for each other, what a good moral person is. Forgotten that. People are not good to each other, not anymore at least. And we need to bring that back. And I want to do everything I can. Or even if, I've only been around for about 5 months, I am inspired. I feel the grit. I feel the willingness to actually adapt and to change and to make something out of nothing. You know, it's hard times we live in, especially today. You know, but despite all the evil and terror of the world, there is hope. There is kindness. There's beauty. There's compassion. There's all there's virtue, but we just have to help each other get there. And it starts here, and it starts now, it starts with us in the spring. It starts with me. It starts with that purpose to actually make the world a better place. And it will be an ongoing fight. It will be hard, and you're gonna run into a lot of roadblocks on the way. But you got to keep going over them. Black Panthers didn't stop. People's Park didn't stop. Food Not Bombs didn't stop. It's still there because that idea of goodness is still there. So it's not going to go away. It never will. Even if the 1% tries to, swipe that all away, they can't. Can't do it. But they make us fear that there's no hope left. We can't let that fester within our minds. We can't let that consume us. We have to overcome ourselves. We have to overcome this fear of, oh, I don't know what to do. No, you can do something. Wake up and tell yourself you can do something. That's what I realized. I was more enlightened to the ideas of, what it means to actually care for someone. Well, I felt like I didn't have that in my life, especially not where I was from. I could have done so much more back in my hometown, but I didn't. I don't know why, but I still don't know why. But I have a little hint. It's that, agenda they push into me, that agenda of individuality. You have to do what's good for you. No, you don't have to. By helping other people, by helping your community, by helping your people, you're doing good for yourself. But I feel like we've forgotten that. But I'm here to remind you. And we should keep going. And we should bring more volunteers to help out with Food Not Bombs. We should inspire more people to bring back the idea of People's Park. Because what I've heard from most people, just talking to Rosie and Stan and Eric and Elizabeth, and all the people that I hand out food to, they all tell me similar things or almost the same thing, that People's Park was a place, but it was less a place but more of a symbol, more of an idea that's within us, that's in our hearts, that's within our minds. People's Park is a symbol of resistance, is a symbol of a socialist idea that if people came together and actually did something together, anything could happen. Strength in numbers. And People's Park helped people get out from dark places or spread more light across Berkeley or even the world. That's what People's Park is. It is all of us. It's even me, even if I wasn't here for the construction of it or the demolishing of it. It's still here. It's the human being. It's the human being. So I don't want to take up too much time, but I'm just glad I can be a part of this. That I can help other people, that I can be in community together, that hopefully I can find a place here. Make Berkeley my own. But I vow that I will do everything in my power and my volition to do the right thing, to be a good person, and to help other people understand the light and goodness within themselves. So I thank you all for that, and I hope we can do some good work together. So thank you.
Wow, I did not expect today to go this way, to be honest with you. But I can really feel it in your heart, in your hearts of hearts. You do care about this place. And so I'm grateful to share this space with you. A lot of times it feels like, wow, the UC was able to spend millions of dollars to destroy this place. Who knows how many people they brought in there beyond our knowledge who was intentionally trying to disrupt it. Who knows if the Department of Energy, the government Department of Energy that works at the science laboratories, was there to disrupt it. But despite all of that, we're still here. That is incredible. That's incredible to me. So the next person I want to introduce is a People's Park gardener. Um, I have known them before I've even known them. They were around before I even knew they were around. And I try to say I'm really perceptive, but this person has really come to the forefront on like the park is barricaded, 24-hour security is there, but they're the ones that are documenting and still showing up and doing artwork and making sure the garden is great. So I don't want to introduce you, but this is Anna. I'll just say Anna. And Anna will give you a little bit of her perspective on what's happening at People's Park and who you are, where you grew up, what you like to do on Saturdays. I don't know. Go ahead, Anna.
Okay, I really don't want to do this. um, so I was born and raised in Berkeley. My family goes back till the 1850s. I don't know if that's something to be proud of or not proud of, like, because yeah. Anyways, so Cal was built as the public school. We're supposed to provide a free education for everybody, right? Okay. So it's kind of crazy what it's become. And I feel like they've kind of become like this giant military boot that is putting their foot down on top of the entirety of Berkeley. They're stretching, they're growing, they're just like reaching their tentacles out and just grabbing everything that they can. So as an adult, I didn't know a lot of my family's history until I was an adult. There was a lot of weird family rifts or whatever. So a lot of things didn't get passed down to me, to my knowledge until I was an adult, and then I found out stuff. God, I hate doing this. Okay, but the point is I grew up in Berkeley. It felt like a small town when I was growing up. It was a very small town. It was very diverse. There was no you're better than that person. There was no like everybody was supposed to get along. We were supposed to learn civil rights. That was all that matters. Take care of everybody. It doesn't matter what ethnicity or perspective they had. Everybody takes care of everybody. That's what it was. As I got older, it started feeling more and more like people were becoming segregated again, which was really weird to me and not right. But more so what I'm supposed to be talking about is UC and okay. When I saw what was happening with People's Park, like People's Park was always there. And it was always a place you could go to find resources. If you needed anything, you could go to People's Park. You could find food. You could find clothing. You could find friends. You could find a therapist. You could find anything you needed at People's Park. It was there for free. And there was always concerts there. There was hip hop in the park. There was all kinds of different events there. There was weird people, like Wavy Gravy would go. You know, you would see any type of person, and it wasn't like they were scary people. They were just different, and you knew that they were okay because you had talked to them. Like, anyway, okay. So then there kept on being the protests. UC kept on trying to take it over. They would go in with their fencing and try to take it back, and students would come and fight and take the fences back and bring them back to UC Berkeley. And then the last time that we were there, the CHP came. There was hundreds of police. They barricaded it with the shipping container walls. They literally beat people in the street for standing in the street saying, we don't like what you're doing. The city of Berkeley, the community was there saying, we don't want you doing this. This is the community park. We need this park. So UC Berkeley didn't give a shit. They said, we're going to militarize this place, surrounding it with shipping container walls and police and blocking off the streets for 6 blocks in all directions around the park. So nobody could even attempt to get back into the park. Right. when I saw my husband videoing the police beating people in the street, I, well, first of all, I saw what they were calling snatch vans. The snatch vans were driving all throughout city of Berkeley, around the park, making sure that there was nothing crazy going on. And that looked really weird because it's like they had their police, the door, it was an unmarked white minivan with the door open, and they're just driving slowly through the streets. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? This is crazy. Then I was standing on the side of the road near the Dwight Triangle, and my husband was inside talking to somebody. And I see the snatch van pull up, another minivan pulls up. Riot cops get out of the vans. Nobody was doing anything but standing in the streets. And they get out of their vans with their guns and everything and go in and start beating people up. I was shocked. I didn't understand what the fuck was happening. I saw them slam this old woman. She was 70 years old, extremely frail. Her name was Beverly. I saw her be slammed to the ground, and I was really concerned that she hit her head or something. I didn't understand why they slammed her to the ground. There was no point in slamming her to the ground. It made no sense. My husband was over in a different area videoing as they were punching this guy in the head, saying he was resisting arrest. He didn't do anything. He wasn't resisting arrest, but they're beating him, and it made no sense. So my husband's over there recording with his camera, and the police tell him he has to move. And he's like, why? I'm not doing anything. I'm just here recording. They say, either you move or I move you. Next thing you know, he's slammed to the ground. And it's on recording. Like, so his camera's like all over the place watching him fall. And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. We need to leave. My phone is dying. Like, I can't have my kids not know where we are. We have to leave because I don't know how bad this is gonna get. This is crazy. Okay. So that was like, oh my God, this is crazy. After that, I think we came up every day to check on what was going on, and they just kept having this military presence. It didn't feel like Berkeley, it felt like we're in another place. Like, this is crazy. And then all the things that they've done since then, it's like one thing after the other that is totally against the law, totally wrong. No morals, no ethics, no anything right about what they've done, and they're doing it. And they're like, the requirement was that they build supportive housing. That's the whole goal of the project, right? Is to build supportive housing to help the people of Berkeley. Can't do it without that. Next thing you know, they're building the dorms. No such thing as supportive housing because they lost the funding for that. They can't, like, there's no funding for that because they did so many illegal things in taking the park. They're never getting that money back, but they still built the dorms. So there's no supportive housing, no help for Berkeley, nothing. And that's why I'm saying it's like this military boot coming down and squashing Berkeley. I've seen posts for people looking for housing, students looking for housing on campus, and they're like, yeah, I have this apartment. It's on campus. It's across the street. That's not campus. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? No, the full south side is now campus. What? Telegraph is now campus. Telegraph has been like Telegraph forever, with the Holiday Street Fair and vendors, artists coming here from all over the place, counting on income from that Holiday Street Fair. Like, and now they can't come here anymore. That makes no sense. But this is campus. Okay, so we've been trying to come up to People's Park. We found a section of People's Park that wasn't taken over, so we've decided to take it back. We've got a garden going. We go there every week. Security will come and watch us garden because we're being so horrible. My husband has been arrested for going up there and telling them that he doesn't like what they've done. They took his phone. They locked him up in the jail, the Berkeley City jail, for 6 hours without allowing him a phone call. So I thought he was dead. I didn't know where the fuck he went. And they took his phone, held it for 3 months as evidence because he was recording the whole situation. He did nothing against the law, no crimes. All he did was tell them that they're idiots, and he doesn't like what they've done to People's Park. We just barely got his phone back after getting a court order, and his case basically dismissed. But what do we do with that now? UCPD apparently only allows 30 days in which to file a complaint against UCPD. Just in case you ever need to file a complaint against them, you only have 30 days. Otherwise, I think we have 180 days to file with the Accountability Board, which is, I think we're going to try to do that if it's not. If the time is coming short. But basically, it's literally, I feel like UC Berkeley has become the military. Oh, another thing is my grandma, great grandpa graduated Cal in 1912. Grandma went to Cal, dropped out, built ships for World War II, and then became very counterculture and was protesting on UC at the Crescent Lawn because they didn't like them building the nuclear weapons because there was already uh, Hiroshima and then Fukushima, so they were there constantly. So not only did I have all of Berkeley raising me to fight for civil rights, to stand up for free speech, to be like, people are people and we need to take care of everybody. I had my grandma also with this very counterculture style. She drove a VW bus, um, which I have now, and I try to drive it around and be like, "Hey, look, this is Berkeley, right?" Um, oh God. Anyways, I feel like UC has overstepped. They're overreaching, and for some reason, our mayor decided to join forces and sell Berkeley out. And it really sucks. And I really need help, like for Berkeley. I feel like a lot of people in Berkeley, it's over, it's done. We don't want to get hurt by the police, right? Like, who the fuck is going to stand up against this? I don't think I know anybody that wants to do it anymore. Nobody wants to get hurt. Oh, well, yeah, Aiden and you guys are all here. Obviously, you guys are here. But I'm saying from my community of like the people I grew up with and I know, they're all kind of like, we don't know what to do. It's out of our control and it's over. But it's not over.
No, it's not.
And it can't
Not
be over because we can't say that's okay. What you did, beating people up, militarizing the neighborhood, IDing students, saying they can't even go to their apartment buildings, like that's insane. That's not okay. It's not over. It's never going to be okay. Even if the building is completed and students move in, what happened is not okay. And I want everybody to remember that. That's all.
Great job, Anna. Um, I know we're running short on time, so I want everyone to give their still full attention to our final panelist. I will say, Anna, Michael Delacour was a Boilermaker, and so there's this World War II history and the People's Park thing going on. And I remember Delacour telling me, like, you don't want to look at the 60s, you want to look at the 20s. And I'm still trying to figure that out. But with that said, the history of Berkeley has so much been integrated with the countercultural movement that blossomed with People's Park to the point where now people from all walks of life are still fighting for it, fighting for the dwindling resources, fighting for the spirit of community, fighting to even be able to play music, to be able to have a life outside of prison walls or ID cards or whatever else this militarized boot has for us. But I want to give us flowers for a bit. I want to talk about the development of what it's like to be a student today and to graduate knowing that you were a part of something big, something like People's Park. And so I want to give the next few moments of your time, the next 10 minutes or so, to Natalie, who will introduce herself. But again, this is a student who has given us so much in the short time that she's been here. And so thank you for being with us.
It's very powerful being in this space with everybody. This is exactly what we need to be doing and ringing. Okay, quiet. Okay. My name is Natalie. I graduated last May. I studied anthropology, and I have been I have been in conversation with Aiden and Anna and Offroad since meeting you at the open mic, seeing that the spirit was alive, hearing those voices and seeing familiar faces, and then seeing Aiden again talking on the street with the Berkeley High student protest saying, let's make this a garden. So since then, we've been meeting at that garden, and Alfred and Anna are always there and making chalk art that's very powerful and blowing bubbles. And we come by, and I'm a part of a student collective that we started about a year ago. A bunch of people, women anthropologists, that felt that the university was not a space for genuine conversation of confrontation and critique about what's happening in the world, what we're learning about. And it's just the root of the issue is People's Park, because it's connected to our battle against colonialism and against this corruptive structure of power being taken away from us in our community, and them taking away the only land that was a space where authentic gathering and collaboration was possible. It makes it even harder for us now to think in abstract ways of imagination. How can we do that? Where do we gather? How do we make this happen? And in my study of anthropology and just what I hope and what we all, I feel, hope for in this world is that we can create a future that we all feel is good for people, and deconstruct the systems that have destroyed and hurt and assaulted so many people in the world. This is part of the global battle, and our close local issue is People's Park, because that's where they're targeting us from gaining our power. I sent. I'm gonna read a little thing. I just sent this to Aiden. No, it's here. Okay. Okay. My dream for the future would be for us to get closer and more connected as a community, because then we can see and begin to build that care and properly prioritize each other. There are many big corporations trying to tear our public space and our connection to each other for profit, for this narrative of isolated individualism to win. We are stronger together, we have many strengths, and can learn to cultivate our energies together into becoming something tangible and stable. If we decided to turn to each other and see our humanity in this one brief lifetime, to learn to take better care of our earth and each other, what matters is presence and fulfillment, not these material things. We just need the necessities to survive. We need to listen and uplift our community members who are berated by the system to figure out what the future will look like with all of us being a part of it. Returning to our collective power, that is my dream. But I'm just very grateful for all of this. There's also I'm in conversation with Raquel Schur, who was the daughter of the Berkeley Barb. She has intention of the Berkeley Barb becoming rebirthed on a significant date to then begin this underground conversation. So for those that are in the community, I would love to just sit with you, talk with you, chat with you, and begin this coalition process of listening to each other and actually figuring out tangibly the next steps of how we can do this. And I'm here. I'm moving back. I was raised in Carlsbad, which is a very white community, and someone else echoed the feeling of it not being easy to shift the world in these other places, but in Berkeley it feels possible. And I think that this is very, very important that we're all here together and we stick together.
Go ahead, Al.
Okay, so I just want to say that the past 15 or 20 years or so, I helped organize the anniversary parties at People's Park. And we've been guaranteed, as much as guaranteed goes, we have been told that we will be able to go back in once they're open and have events in there. And they're supposed to be putting up, since they don't have an actual stage, they'll be putting up a stage for us if we have events. So let's see what happens with that. But I will be pushing the fact that we really do need to have People's Park events at People's Park, no matter what else is going on with their building. I wrote this song just a couple of weeks ago, and I realized as I was thinking about it that this could also be a song kind of about People's Park too. It's called Pick Up the Pieces. They think they are winning, the powers that be, by making us feel just a little less free. But the pendulum swings and this madness will end. Then we'll pick up the pieces again. We'll pick up the pieces and reclaim our land. Pick up the pieces bit by bit, hand to hand. Pick up the pieces, together we'll stand, and put all the pieces together again. They pelt us with doom and destruction each day, but we know in our hearts this is not our way. They think they're tearing us up by wearing us down, but in the end they will be wearing a crown. 'Cause we'll pick up the pieces and reclaim our land. Pick up the pieces bit by bit, hand to hand. Pick up the pieces, together we'll stand, and put all the pieces together again. They taunt us with eroding our rights, but we won't let them get to our souls. We're strong and we're tough, and we know how to fight. In the end, come out of this hole. 'Cause we'll pick up the pieces and reclaim our land. Pick up the pieces bit by bit, hand to hand. Pick up the pieces, together we'll stand, and put all the pieces together again. And we'll keep our country together again. We'll keep People's Park back together again. Thank you. And we are having an open mic. Thank you. We are having an open mic every second Saturday over by the Chess Club on Haste and Telegraph. When Food Not Bombs is coming to feed people. So from 2:30 to 4:30, you can come down, you can play music, you can recite a poem, you can tell a story, you can just rant if that's what you want to do. But please do come down and join the open mics there, because we got to keep hope alive.
That's right.
Thank you, Hallie. I know this has been an interesting set of events, but I feel so much closer to all of you through this night. It's really hard to have a space that you haven't been able to fully grieve yet. To know that something is waiting to like come to life, but to be in space and in proximity and relationship with each other, let alone the land, is powerful. And I want to say so much of a thank you for all of you who have been here to hear these stories and to allow people the space to speak truth to power in the halls of power. Thank you. With that said, I do know we're running out of time as far as the reserve space. Maybe we could go a little bit over. I don't know, but I want to be respectful of the space too. Oh, we're good? Okay, all right. One more hour. Just kidding. With that said, we have been putting out a community survey, and you're welcome to reach out to me afterwards if you'd like to input it. There's no deadline, but I'm hoping before New Year's we can get something together. And some of the things that people have really brought to the forefront. So, how this destruction of People's Park has harmed people's well-being. Daily exposure to demolition causes emotional distress, worsens mental health, reduces access to free space for meditation, Tai Chi, gardening, and community gathering. How people in our community are still having solidarity from afar. Former residents and long term supporters still feel the loss. They're still contributing in every way. They still want to help. People's Park, and again, this is from the survey, is a vision of what humanity should move towards. The park embodies community, freedom, sharing, ecology, beauty, joy. Its destruction represents a step backwards from these values. And I think what we've seen today is that People's Park represents a lifetime of connection. People who have followed and supported the park since the 1970s and are heartbroken to see what's happening today are still ready to fight for it once again. So again, thank you for listening to the panelists. Now I want you to look at each other and be able to hold space together. And I know people want to speak. Please keep your comments maybe 1 to 2 minutes just so we can have everything going together. But you're welcome to introduce yourself, to say why you're here, to say your history about People's Park, and really form those connections that makes the park so beautiful. Now everyone together.
My name is Derek, and came to the park. One day I was like, kind of weird about myself. I'm scared to go to the park, and I can hear stories about this, that, Anyways, when I got there, this what happened, everything started forming, my life started, going upwards, and it became really good. I even bashing this tree stuff. That's nothing to me. Anyways, out there, everywhere I went, I closed my shut down and told me, we can't have dirt around. And said, having friends, so like, well, I got a dictionary. That's how you do it, but with the police, when they came up to them, I'll never be able to help it, but you park back. So search myself, hate myself. But that park's so powerful. I came here, I thought I knew everything. I didn't know anything at all. I'm not even kidding. That stage so powerful. I'm sitting there one day, beautiful. Patchy mode, then pass out, wake up, people everywhere, more people coming in. Wow, that's patchy mode. Maybe I pass out, and I said that I found some drum sound and some music. It was so close, like the package. It was patchy mode that day. It was bad, and before that was this baby came over to do some music. People invited. I used to patchy mode was invited to people's park, and I came up here. I thought I was badass with music, hanging out with this side. I didn't cook with everything I know. I used to watch the play the instruments right, the art, the music, the way I behave, went to the park one time. I had all kinds of money, and my best friend would give my money back. Forgot about this place. You can't do that stuff on here. Be all messed up on drugs and shit. So I like straightened up everything. Then everything was free. Yeah, that that's not it's not really that remember I'm learning the process. And so I came back all the way people's park area. It's still there because you know what? Every day I have to clean up. I have to dry out, clean up to be able to be part of People's Park, and that's what it is. Um, I don't go there going, oh, I didn't know, man. You're not supposed to mess up. It doesn't work like that. People's Park people are very strict over there. They're in a good karma, so you can't do even a little bit off would represent that People's Park, But as I came back, I was like, oh my God, I've been that wasted out there. I just remember something. They don't allow that around here. People's Park, So I started cleaning up, everything's getting better. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be successful, like anything, like just remember I have to always maintain that clean atmosphere in college town. You can't party if you really cleaned up. You know? So every time I turn around, hey, you're invited. You're invited. 'Cause I clean up every day. That's what I do. I'm just making all these parties. I stick with that that's lifestyle. It was part of always dry out. You know, hey, dry out for a little bit. And you come back a new person. You know, and I come back all everything, all your events, everything. Because of that lifestyle, you cannot mess up. As soon as supply spender, you turn around. You say, I'm sorry, everybody, I have to make a phone call. Yes, I have a guy over here. I'm pretty sure who's really out on some kind of drug. The, the guy was about to die on heroin. But that's how quick this hippie well, snatch that, and you knew that was that. I didn't know that. You turned around, saw it from the lane there, turn around. That's how quick people like do stuff, So it's very powerful thing going on. That powerful energy. These people, I'm not even kidding. Uh, I was down on Telegraph. This gentleman kind of, I thought he said by he's messing my head. I remember 4 days straight. I'm not kidding. Cause I'm not gonna go crossfire with that dude. I can eat him alive. People was popping way back. Like I said, when I got there, I didn't do anything. The energy is so freaking powerful. I'm not even kidding. It's like so powerful. I was like, yeah, man, can we break the song? It doesn't work like that. That was a song. That's what I want to keep up. I always keep my mouth shut about something that nobody learned there, and that's about it. Thank you.
Feel free. Does anyone have questions that they?
Yeah, I want to talk.
Yeah.
My name is Joe. I'm with Food Not Bombs. And the important pieces that Hallie was singing about that are still left to be picked up and put together are number one, the supportive housing element that's supposed to provide housing for formerly homeless and people that are um, very low income. The university has sort of been, leading us on and pretending, or maybe not pretending, but they certainly won't tell us any of the facts. They're claiming that they have a developer that's going to do that. Maybe you don't know, but there was a developer who the university threw under the bus by their sloppy and lying legal actions back when we were fighting the case for the California Environmental Qualities Act. Anyway, it's going to be a hard road to find somebody because they still have to satisfy the National Environmental Quality Act because this will be a nonprofit developer and they'll need federal money. So we have to, I think, stay very vigilant and make sure that the university isn't, BSing us again. And if it goes on much longer, take some actions. The other piece is that I think we need to be there on the day that those fucking containers come down and serve people lunch and whatever other mutual aid we can get in People's Park. So those are the two things that I'll be working on, and I hope there will evolve an organization that can get a lot more people involved and make those things happen, or at least put up a good fight. Thank you.
I was just gonna say about the supportive housing, really quick, if you want, the supportive housing, I'm not sure that I want them to put the supportive housing. What if they stop building anything new and give us the rest of what's left over and put the supportive housing somewhere else? I mean, I'd like supportive housing, but it's like, what's that, like whitewashing, but it's with poor people instead. But anyway, that was all. Something to think about. I'm not sure.
I 100% agree. That was one of the points I wanted to make. The other one I want to make is why not demand that the structure that they have put there be used for supportive housing? Not all of it. How much do you need? Whatever. But I just have that same rage. I'm slut, but I can't quite let the rage go. Have this sense of them abusing that component to get what they wanted, and then it's not there. But if it was okay for there to be supportive housing and students living on the same lot, why can't they do it in the same building? Yeah.
Well, it's a very difficult fight because you can't oppose supportive housing. But if
Can't
they
what?
can't get it together, then maybe we have a claim to get that western end of the park back.
But it's not opposing supportive housing. It's demanding it.
I can't hear.
Oh, okay. Tell you what.
I'd like to say, like, if they lost their federal funding because they started construction by cutting down the trees before they had permission to start construction, they lost federal funding. Like, they can't get that back. So even if UC says, oh, well, we'll put the money in to develop the supportive housing, they still can't pay the rent for the building because they don't have the federal funding.
Federal funding used to be that Section 8 was going to pay a bunch of money up front to help with the
Can
building.
you speak
then they were
louder?
also going to,
Somebody's got to pay the rent.
they were going to pay the rent all the. Yeah.
Lost the federal
So
funding.
that
They're
Section
saying
8
they
was
lost
not
the
there
federal
for us.
funding, so they can't get it back. That's what they're saying. Did
I
you
don't
hear
know,
me?
different agency, I don't know, but
Oh.
so they weren't allowed to get the money from Section 8 because they broke those rules. Can they get it from a different government agency? I don't know.
Does anyone
Well, they can apply
I need to
again.
go to recreation and sports building.
I don't know how.
Does anyone from the opposite side of the room have anything to add or questions or go ahead? Yeah.
My name is Camille, part of the ASUC.
Could you speak up, please?
Yeah, I helped and put together this event for y'all. And thank you. Yeah. First of all, Aiden, I really just provided the space and I tried to advocate for more people to come. I do really hope that we can do something like this in the future where it's more students involved because, yeah, I definitely think that this is something very important that everyone can really benefit from, especially my generation. I feel like my generation, it's kind of hard. I come from an organizing background, so being a student government, it's very different. And I personally feel like a lot of people in my generation are just tired, and we're barely even 20. So I can imagine how tired y'all are. And I really just want to thank y'all for all the fight and support that y'all have given to your community just in the time that y'all have been alive and y'all taking up your predecessors. And I really hope that people like me, and I forgot your name, but I really hope that young people like us and Natalie, that we can all really carry on that torch for y'all. I want to share that they are renaming the building, but they're renaming it for a disability rights activist, and that is a terrible move on like their part. And I would like to advocate for them to not so because I think that's literally abhorrent and it's very wrong to try to put someone's legacy and name onto something that directly impacted people with disabilities. So we're gonna advocate for that on my end. I'm gonna do my best on that end, and I wrote down so many of y'all's suggestions to see what student government can do because we're students, we don't have that much power, but we're gonna use what we got. And even if it's not within my government capacity, my organizing capacity, like I really want to help y'all with this, and I feel so empowered to help y'all and work with y'all. So thank y'all so much for teaching me literally so much this just tonight.
My name is Willie Cook, and I am a history here because I was born at Herrick Hospital right now. And I went to Cal when People's Park was a little bit after the fact, but the point is I have that particular legacy. You do have power.
Yes.
You have your voice.
And if you are able to connect with other people that are outside of South Side to South Berkeley, which represents gentrification, you have power. So you might be tired, but look at this panel here. They have been working for a long time to make it possible for you to be in this space now. So please don't give up, because that's the last thing that you can do, because that's what people are counting on, is the tune out. Tune in. That's where the power lies. Is the very fact is these people represent that legacy that allows you to move forward. So when you are able to basically be in their place, you can also take on that. They need a rest. Good forbid the very fact that they need a rest and you need to step up. So I'd be happy to work with you. Because I'm an organizer too. I still got some spunk in me and I can still work. So the very fact is that it's my job as a former teacher to teach you to basically stand up and speak for yourself, because your generation is basically going to be taking on the task, because the very fact is what mess has been left, you're going to have to clean it up.
We're in solidarity, because there's 47, there's the genocide, like I said, there's COVID, there's poverty, there's homelessness, there's the policing, they're trying to surveil the hell out of everybody. Oakland has that on their agenda tonight after some commission about the spot cameras. Berkeley, not my council member, but District 2. I live in District 2, but he doesn't represent me. Put forward flock, more cameras for Berkeley. So we have to oppose all these things because they're all interconnected and including the genocide. So like we have to fight for it all. And you know, we live in earthquake territory. So we never know when that's gonna happen. And the mental health of everyone is going down because of all the things that we've had to deal with over the past several years. So we all have to be in solidarity to try to lift each other up and find joy and work together. So I mean, I had some prepared words, but y'all did some amazing talks, you know. And you're inspiring me to help you help us all, you know. So
I would love that the city park, influence the whole world to have a city park, it's a beautiful thing. And city park right here, there, Continental Stadium, it's beautiful that, we covered that park and everything. But anyways, that's a beautiful city park. Man, that city park is so powerful. The one over here and the one down there. Every city park in the United States is probably very powerful. I wish Tokyo would have a city park like that, So maybe like go out there, but hey, you can probably work across the road.
Now, I want to mention, because we're running out of time, it's a good thing to want to speak and have these ideas forward. The conversation isn't over, it just has to be outside the building. So, we do have 2 minutes. If anyone who hasn't spoken wants a chance to just give a few sentence or a word, please do. Okay, 1 minute and then 1 minute and then we'll be out here.
Wednesday, November 19th, tomorrow, 7 p.m. There's a presentation and discussion on UC Berkeley protests against Turning Point USA happening at Revolution Books. Also at Revolution Books, November 22nd, this Saturday, 6 p.m. A report back from protesters who have been protesting since Wednesday, November 5th, outside of the White House, demanding Trump must go now, building sustained resistance. So 2 amazing events. I've got flyers for those who are interested. I also have a whole bunch of other literature.
And please, let's give the last person your time and attention.
Okay. My name is Nancy Delaney. And I want to mention David Nadel was one of the
Yeah.
people from Ashkenaz. The club is still there. He got murdered there
Yeah.
because he was fighting the university. And every Saturday he would be at the park with his table, the information of what the university was doing then to fight people around the world. And David Nadel brought all the bands that were playing in his club. He'd ask them to play free at the park. And that's how we got the World Music Festival up there. And he just continued doing it. I'd also like to mention Gene Tuckerman was another, a good friend of Michael Dio, who worked together. I worked in Food Not Bombs. I saw the park evolve. I was here when my brother was born in Alta Bates, and I was here when I was 3 and 4. My father was going to school, but then we left. And then I came back. And the one thing that I'd like to share with you, I'd just like to plant this seed, is that because of all I got from the park, I came to understand that there is the constellation of Orion. And as we come into December, as the sun is setting, Orion will be rising where the sun usually rises. The constellation of Orion will be rising on its side like a butterfly. And then it will move up in December, and it may even be starting now, but certainly by early December, at sundown, Orion on its side as a butterfly will be rising up, and as it gets up overhead, where the sun is at noon, it looks like a human being. It's with its shoulder bones up in the sky, and its feet, and the 3 stars and a slant in its head. But those shoulder bones, if you go out there in December, especially on winter solstice at midnight, it's there right at midnight, at the darkest hour of the longest night for the entire northern hemisphere of the earth. You can feel anytime that you can see it as it's turning to be the human being, you can feel the shoulder bones in your body and the shoulder bones in the sky. You can align yourself with it and with the entire universe. And this is People's Park way of knowing life. But this time, everybody on Earth who can see it, even in the southern hemisphere at the same time. We're having winter solstice, they're having summer solstice, but midnight, both places, the entire Earth, we humans could be seeing this, and it can connect us all. So that it's all People's Park, the entire Earth. And there are other people's parks in other parts of the globe where people came here and saw it and were so moved. So I just wanted to mention this, to plant this seed, because I think it might help us all around the earth to understand that our shoulder bones, so it doesn't matter what our age, our size, our color, our language, we have it in common. This constellation, of why nobody's been bringing it up, I think, is because they want the corporate and the capitalist. But this is from nature herself. And it reflects us all. So just keep it in mind and share it. And I'll be bringing a little bit of stuff when we're getting together out of class.
I love you all. Save People's Park, protect People's Park, and love People's Park.
Yes. Hey.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
So, do I have to do anything with this now?
I think you just have to end it on Zoom.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Steely Powell.
Yeah, yeah.